Yeah, I have really exciting information about the comets.
Oh, great.
They're very sacred code, and 17 is what I'm seeing is it's a tsunami actually of transmissions of divine love.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm joined today by Dr. Swan Montague. I was very pleased to learn that she's just released a new book called The Yeshua Frequencies, which is wholly relevant to the current times we're in. So perhaps, Swan, if you could just give us a little introduction to yourself and what you've been doing.
As you know, quite a long time ago now, I wrote the book of Sahra, Jesus' secret wife, which is a quartet. This book, the Yeshua Frequencies, is a metaphysical work. It's not a novel or an epic love story like the book of Sahra. It's, of course, connected because all the information has come to me directly from Yeshua, which I've received since he appeared to me at my deathbed, actually, way back in 2003. This book is basically all the ways that his frequencies are made available to us, or that we can tap into his frequencies through the ages, past, present, and future, very much as well. So this book is quite, as you know, you've read it, it's quite a hefty 360 page, very informative book about all kinds of things. It's based around Soleil 17, which stands for the Sacred Order of Light, Energy, and Information 17, which is a mandala that was bequeathed to me in the 90s. I've been developing and working with ever since. And that mandala is basically a bridge into the divine realm and the Yeshua frequencies and a transmission and an emanation. And so this book explains the significance of Soleil 17 as it has been created to bring in the transmissions for the age of the Christess, the divine feminine in the Aquarian age. And 17 is the highest master number. It's actually a secret code. I'm being buzzed by a mosquito. It's a very sacred code, and the relevance of the number 17, which is interesting, obviously, to many people around the world at this time.
Yes, totally.
In the book, you know, the incredible amount of very symbolic and potent references to the number 17 in the Bible. And
Yep.
and its esoteric meaning in lots of other traditions. So that's my background. I have a PhD in metaphysics and an MA in Christ consciousness and its relevance in this day and age. So I'm bringing all of that knowledge together through poetry, art, writing of novels, and this book, which is metaphysical work.
I mean, yes, I read through the book, and I have to say it's something I would have liked way back in 2009, 2010, when I first started on my journey, because there was so much stuff to explore. And actually, I embarked on a bit of a, not a world tour, but a tour of many countries to connect with lots of sacred, spiritual, and energetic spots. But you've managed to encapsulate lots of those in that book. So, for anybody starting off on their journey, wanting to understand and know about those places, it's a fantastic reference. It'll probably save them a lot of airfare money. um, so they can actually enjoy and get the essence of what it's all about. You know, Peru, Australia, those sorts of places. So yeah, it's brilliant, and it's also got I've found a lot of very good exercises. I mean, apart from the fact that your poetry, I absolutely love your poetry, by the way, and you can use. I've actually been using that poetry in my meditation to start my meditation off, because it brings you into a lovely, peaceful space and projects you out of, if you like, this reality into something else. And from there, you can then bounce on to do your meditation in whatever way you go, you choose.
That,
So,
that's very interesting.
yeah,
I hadn't thought of that at all. But I did weave in, I didn't intend originally to weave in so much of my own poetry, just a few of the classics, you know, that we use, William
yeah,
Blake and Rumi, etc. But then the poetry started pouring through, and I realized the level of metaphysical information, I wanted to articulate it in a way that would make it understandable to people of all levels, but work with people, whether they're new to this scene or whether they're advanced, spiritual seekers.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean,
So the poetry weaves in it basically weaves you into the right and left brain so that you don't get overwhelmed with mental stuff.
yeah, absolutely. No, that's exactly how I experienced it, really. So it acts like a bit of an anchor that you can start as your bounce. You can bounce from there into whatever you want to do. But what I also loved was the first part of the book. You talk us through a lot of the stuff that happened to you in your life and how you used your connection to Yeshua to overcome a lot of obstacles that you encountered. And I think that's very inspiring for people. But I mean, I think the thing about it is in this book, when people get to grips with it, they can really see how they can put some of these things into practice and make that connection. I mean, you speak about talking to Yeshua. I mean, obviously, lots of people would say, "Oh, well, does she really do that, or is it her subconscious?" Blah blah blah. But I mean, reading the book, obviously, over the years, there's been so many cases where you've had guidance and the guidance has come true that you wouldn't actually, once you've read the book, you wouldn't really question that. You'd know that you have actually been guided by somebody or a consciousness. So I think it's good for people to read the book to understand your experiences so that they've got something to hook onto, if you like.
Well, that was why I decided to come out of the shadows, really, with some of this more lesser known stuff that I've been doing over the years, because that's what I've been doing behind the scenes a lot, because people need to know that they can do this too, and that energy consciousness is available for us to tap into, and it's a divine cosmic force that is there to guide us. And to me, like you said, it's happened to me so many times with so many extraordinary experiences that I don't have any doubt in my mind anymore. But it doesn't even matter if it's really Yeshua or not really Yeshua. Am I making it up? The fact is, amazing stuff happens. People get healed. Miracles happen. Not because of me, but through me as the agent in that particular moment. And what he said is true. What I do, you too shall do or more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the key to it, isn't it, really? Because once people understand that other people like yourself have these experiences, then they realize that they can actually become self-empowered themselves. And at that point, that is a big turning point, because when people start to understand that they have got the power, then they will explore it. But it's a Michelin guide to the way you can move through the energies, if you like.
Yeah, it's a kind of cosmic map or guidance system, and that's what Soleil 17 and the mandala that is the emanation of Soleil 17 does. It's as well as guidance. It's really an oracle and a healing transformation transmission. It's all of that. And the point that I mentioned later in the book, is when there's a chapter on future incarnations, we're not just transforming and evolving for this life. We're already programming, whether we know it or not, the trajectory of our future lives, and preparing for the sacred world renaissance. So this information has a purpose, a very important and sacred purpose.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love that phrase, sacred world renaissance. It has such depth to it, as well as a real tone. So I think that's a really good title.
Yeah, I like that too. It's the renaissance of the sacred world and a sacred renaissance.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's so much tied up in that. I mean, at this present moment, we've had comets appear in our skies that various space agencies are busily not telling us about. Other space agencies are telling us about. Various other people are giving us other information. I mean, I've had my own personal experience of both the Atlas 3I and the Swan R2. And in fact, we did a meditation together around the Atlas, where we were joined by somebody from France when she'd actually gone to the Atlas Mountains in Morocco,
Right.
and we were working with the Atlas 3I then. So how do you see the Soleil 17 working with these energies that are coming in? And have you had any information about the comets? I think that's probably what I'm trying to say. Have you had any information about the comets?
Yeah, I have really exciting information about the comets.
Oh, great.
I feel that it's all connected and all divinely aligned and all in divine timing. So the Soleil 17 really coming out, being launched at this time, is absolutely connected to the timing of the comets and the consciousness that's coming in with those comets, especially
Right.
the Swan comet, which, although Swan is just the name of the company, it does actually carry a lot of Swan consciousness, not my personal consciousness, the consciousness of the cosmic swan, which is a very divine being that I work with. And the Atlas comet that Yeshua showed me has been programmed by the Andromedans with consciousness streams of divine masters from all over our solar system, and that their energy, their consciousness, maybe even their spirits, I'm hesitant to say, but I think that's true, are coming back on this comet. I don't believe it's a comet. I actually personally believe it's some kind of vehicle, but I can't validate that, obviously. But what I do see is that this comet is bringing back an incredible amount of evolutionary gnosis, gifts and tools and mastery information. It's going to provide us with this incredible download of realizing our superhuman, almost, in terms of what we have been known to expect until now. Our superhuman potential is likely to be a very big emotional upgrade. For people who've done a lot of work, it won't be so much about purging or cleansing. It's more about just letting go and surrendering and allowing this higher consciousness to be embodied and vibrate through us. And in some ways, I believe that it's a big relief. I'm feeling relief, and I think you have been too.
No, totally. I mean, I really get it. I mean, I was, to be honest, I didn't really know anything about it probably until a good few weeks into the information that was coming from the various news agencies. And it was only really until the day I found out was the day that I contacted you, because I'd had that message from somebody in the south of France going to the Atlas Mountains in Morocco saying, I feel we should do a meditation. And the whole thing came together. It was quite amazing. And since then, I've done probably almost a daily meditation where I've connected with the energy from the comets. And really, when you do that and you intend to connect with the energy and bring that energy down and anchor it, it is so strong. It's one of the strongest things I've ever felt. It's really good. Yeah.
When we're meditating together and connecting into the pods, I mean, I have my little portable one here, but when we're into the big ones and meditating together with the lady in the south of France, or if she's in the Atlas, wherever, there was a huge shift the last time we did that. I really felt the whole St. Michael ley line clearing draconian energies that have been dominating that entire part of the world for 70 years or more, just cleared out, and we all felt it. Very powerful, and I believe it's all related to the comets. And I have more to tell you, actually.
Far away.
Atlas is also bringing back Dogon energies, which was a divine feminine planet or star, Sirius C, in the Sirius system. And
Mm-hmm.
those are air aquatic beings, mer people. And they're very connected to Yeshua because he was, in fact, over-lighting or the overlord of the mer people in one of his incarnations, not human, obviously. But I feel that it could bring a lot of sun changes, sea changes, air changes, and we're moving into Pluto days at the end of the month. So there's going to be cleansing of air and water and elementals for sure.
Fantastic.
And then
Yeah.
I've got a bit more to say about Swan Comet,
Yeah.
and then I want to say something about the trajectory of where they've been and where they're going.
Okay.
The Swan Comet actually apparently became visible in May 2020, which I think everyone will remember was a very significant time in the world. And I'm not an expert, but I look quite a lot at the 22 lost signs of the zodiac by a woman called Catherine Tennant, who's no longer with us, sadly. But it's a very profound system because apparently there were originally 22 signs. And those signs are much more in depth and shed a lot more light on certain periods of the year. And May 2020 in her system was the sign of the rose, which is the symbol of longing, hope, heart's awakening about, the pain of the thorns. So it's a lot about bittersweet experiences, feeling the pain. At that time in 2020 was this symbol then of the beauty of the rose, the rose that needed to bloom and having to work with the thorns, which of course with the scam gender we were all being faced with, and there were a lot of challenges to our personal space, our boundaries, and our ability to live life. Totally changed that time, as we know. So that was the symbolism of the rose. The Swan Comet is programmed actually by Yeshua with his future plan for the Earth, not just for the Earth, for the solar system as well. So as it's moving towards Pluto, that also could trigger long expected upheavals, but especially I feel the potential for the long awaited major solar flash. I don't know, and I haven't been told that by Yeshua. I just have a sense that I wouldn't be surprised if it happened at that time. But
okay.
I do expect a major timeline shifts. So it's such an important time to be as highly attuned and aligned as humanly possible, because the energy is building fast. And coming on the comet is, let's say the vehicle, the vessel, whatever it is this live stream, this consciousness of Yeshua, of Sananda. And not only of Yeshua, but also it's bringing back the consciousness of John the Baptist, which is really exciting because his consciousness hasn't come back to the world not that often. But both their energies coming together are different aspects, if you like, different faces of the divine masculine and the Christic life force coming back to Earth. And it's very powerful that they're happening at this time. So Swan 2 is in a sense a baptismal energy. It's birthing the frequencies and the energy of the age of the Christess, which I talk about in the Yeshua Frequencies. It's bringing a living library of new cosmic frequencies from more highly evolved systems around our solar system. It has a database of new emotional keys for higher frequency living. This is what Yeshua has told me. Codes of divine mother father protection, living energy DNA codes from the 17th dimension, which is the dimension of the spiritual overlighting for the world for the next 2,000 years, ruled by Sahra, who is the higher self, the new higher self of humanity. She's the divine lady of the new paradigm and the new age. So it's an activation of Aquarian codes that have been locked behind seals in our DNA until this time. So those codes are going to be activated. and we will be realigning mentally, physically, spiritually, energetically, and emotionally and karmically. So it could trigger a massive exodus of people who are not ready to handle these energies or not destined to stay on much longer. But it also brings this energy of new movement, new levels of consciousness, new levels of divine living. It's not even a wave. What I'm seeing is it's a tsunami, actually, of transmissions of divine love. What's going to happen is that they diverge paths. So during September and October, up until late in the month, these two comets are both journeying, or these two vessels are journeying through a secret portal. This is a portal that, as far as I know, no one knows about. Yeshua has just revealed to me actually in the last few days. That portal is called the Sphinx portal. And it's a portal that connects to the Pashat people, who were a civilization, if you like, on a planet called Pashat planet, that existed in the 22nd dimension. So very, very high spiritual beings. And they are the original lion people, who, of course, are connected to the sphinxes around the world and the Giza Sphinx. And Yeshua told me recently that the Giza Sphinx is the most important stargate in the world. And that is the one that connects to all the other stargates and activates everything. When that sends out a transmission, that changes everything with all the other stargates and all the other sphinxes. As you probably know, there's a sphinx in Japan, and there are other sphinxes. There's even one in America in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
We won't go there today. Anyway, this secret portal is just behind the portal of the constellations that we know on Earth, and it opens into that. So this Sphinx energy is being activated at this time very powerfully by them coming through that. It's about the guardian of thresholds and mysteries revealing more to us. It's going to bring us more riddles, but also more knowledge and self-knowledge. It symbolizes the integration of opposites and initiation before transformation. So it's about a collective period of questioning and discernment. But what happens is around the end of the month, in the last week or so, they diverge. And Atlas is going into the one that Catherine Tennant calls the ear of the wheat. And that's all about harvest, reaping what has been sown, the putting into practice wisdom gained. It's the themes of nourishment, service, generosity, and manifestation. So it's time to heal and feel and uplift the collective. That's very exciting. And then Swan Comet, or Swan vehicle, is moving into Ophiuchus, who's the serpent holder. That's the god of healing and medicine. So that's very symbolic of death and rebirth. It's the serpent shedding skin. So it's really time for people all over the world, and probably the solar system, to be shedding skins, because everyone's going through an evolutionary and ascension process. So that's the exciting information I have about the comets. The thing that I most love is this John the Baptist and Yeshua energy coming back to us, because to have the frequencies, the consciousness, and the mastery of those two incredible beings available to us at this time is a huge portent.
So John the Baptist is not actually somebody who a lot of people know much about. I mean, obviously, if you've been brought up in a religious or a church background, then you will have heard his name and heard people speak about him. But can you just give us a little just snippet of when you say John the Baptist energy, what kind of energy are you referring to there?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to make this very clear. I'm not religious. I'm absolutely have nothing to do with any religion, because religion, it means about the law, and we're not here to deal with laws. We're here to embody our own Christic mastery. And these two, John and Jesus, Yeshua, were incredible divine masters who were initiated, remember, all over the world, not just in Judea. And they weren't Christians. They were actually born Jewish. But again, they moved beyond religion too. And Yeshua especially was indoctrinated, initiated, illuminated in Egypt, in Persia, in France, southwest of France, as far as Cornwall, actually, and Scotland. And what they bring is consciousness of spiritual mastery and power way beyond religion. That is our divine birthright. And so that's the energy that's coming back, is this divine masculine potential, infinite potential of the divine masculine, which we need on the planet, because as we know, the feminine, it's easier because the feminine's challenge is just to open the heart chakra and come into our truth, but the throat chakra and speak our truth. But the masculine challenge has been to come back to the heart and embody again that divine masculine force. And that's what's coming back and being made available. Not just made available, it's transmitting, it's emanating, and it's activating. I mean, whether you like it or not, it's coming. Whether you believe it or not, it's happening to you.
No, absolutely.